everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. So, today I'm laughing because I think I'm going to have a hard time doing this video and trying to use a language that is not going to be sounding offensive or... Okay, let me just say this. Clearly, those of you who are watching me know me and have been my followers for a while now. You all know that everything I say really comes from the heart, and I really do mean well. So, language is so limiting, right? So I really do mean well. And what I'm going to say today, this is not in any way to negate the struggles you're going through, or that you actually do feel like that, or that you actually do think that's going to be a reality for you, okay? So just try to listen to some of the nuances that I will be saying related to this topic, okay? So let's talk about all of your fear of physical appearance. All of you watching this who are afraid of starting to transition or go through gender transition because you really want and you know that that's the only way you can achieve happiness and congruency. You're really afraid to do it because the voice inside of your head is telling you, if I transition, I'm going to be ugly, fill in the blank. I'm going to be ugly woman. I'm going to be ugly man. I'm going to be ugly non-binary person. I'm going to be ugly gender fluid person. I'm going to be ugly person, period. By ugly, what a lot of you, and maybe you're using some other words than ugly. Maybe you're using I'm not going to be passable. Maybe you're using I am not going to be seen as. Maybe you're using I'm never going to be taken seriously as. You have a lot of different personal words that all communicate underneath the same thing. That you're not going to achieve an image of yourself that you carry inside of your head if you transition. Okay? That's all. That's what the negative talk has about. It's basically saying that you're not going to be able to reach the image that you have of yourself, that how you truly see yourself. You're telling yourself it is unachievable. And here's what I'm here today to tell you. So, first of all, you don't know. You don't know. I promise you, you don't know what you're capable of. You really don't. You don't know how things are going to unfold for you. One, I see this a lot. I work with a lot of people. I work with a lot of especially older people who tell me the same thing. I don't think I will ever look like blank. And yes, they do. They absolutely do. And in the beginning, they don't think that they can. And that's because all you see when you see in the mirror, you see everything that natal hormone has done to your body. That's all you're seeing. And you're seeing everything you're not. Everything you're not. You have a very hard time imagining everything you could be. That's how our mind works. Our mind has a very skewed perception of ourselves. It has a very skewed perception of ourselves. This is not just for trans people. This is for everybody. Everybody. I have a skewed perception of how I see myself, when I look at myself in the mirror. I have a very skewed perception of how I see my body. I have a skewed perception how I see what my image is. And then somebody tells me something, I'm like, really? We all do this. We all have a very skewed, very narrow, myopic view of ourselves. And it is not accurate view because we're not just seeing with our eyes. We're no longer seeing with our eyes. We're seeing with our minds. It's not your eyes. Your eyes no longer can be objective observers of yourself. Your eyes are not able to give you objective, honest opinion about you. What you're seeing is your mind. And your mind is telling you everything you're not. So if you're seeing everything you're not, how can you possibly see everything you can be? You can't. So for starters, I promise you that the worst scenario you envision is never going to be as worse as you envision it. 1. 2. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, it is going to be true. For some people, it is clearly much more challenging to achieve congruency that you want. It is, for some of you, it is just challenging. It could be of particular physical characteristics. It could be of particular other aspects. Maybe you don't have access to resources to help you with those things. Maybe you don't have access to get surgeries that can really bring you closer to that congruency. You know what? Some people, maybe they don't even have something as simple as, to be able to buy a few items. The reality is going to be there, right? So let's say hypothetically, you're that person, and it is going to be that much more difficult for you to achieve that congruency. And this is just, you're like, hey, Dr. Z, I'm looking at myself. It's not even that I'm not able to look at myself objectively. I'm just being very realistic with you right now. I am, and then fill in the blank, this, and I don't have this and this, and I just don't see how is that a possibility. So you're trying to sell me on this illusion that doesn't exist. Okay, so here's my answer to you. The thing about transition is the process. When you start moving the needle from, and it's like one of those barometers, right, that tends to measure where you're at and where you're going. It's like a gauge. Is it a gauge, or whatever you call it on the vehicles? Obviously not very good with cars, but it's like one of those. Let's imagine a needle of barometers, right? You're right now over here. You want to go over here, but you can't imagine that you can ramp it up and go all the way over here. You're incapable. You have the power to be over here. In the beginning, when you start moving the needle a little bit with little steps, and they could be tiny. They could be talking to friends about who you are. They could be coming out to more people in your life. They could be starting hormones. It could be just feminizing or masculinizing yourself in your private lives. It's very small. The more you start moving the needle toward where you want to be, guess what happens? You start gaining confidence. 1. 2, you start feeling better. It's all the pressure, the tension of holding on, of not doing anything about your gender, all the tension, all the pressure is starting to loosen up. And when that starts loosening up, you feel better. Your body feels better. Your mind feels better. You start feeling less depressed. You're suddenly able to sleep better. You're suddenly able to eat better. So all of that betterness, and I'm not saying that magically suddenly things are going to get so better that you're going to say, I don't even need to go all the way over here, okay? That's not how it works. It's little things, but little things tend to accumulate into big things. And when little things start to accumulating and you're starting to feel better, guess what also happens to you? That all that betterment is reshaping your mindset about how you see yourself. And now when you look in the mirror, you're still seeing everything you're not, but you're slowly starting to see things you could be. Okay? Maybe not all the way, but you're a little bit starting to see things you could be. And when that happens, you continue to push the needle a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. What I want you to notice is that it's very common in the beginning to say definitive, to have definitive things to say. I will never, notice how I always use the words never. I will never be an attractive ABC. I will never be passable. I will never be taken seriously. I will never, all these absolutes, nevers. What are they based on? Most of them are based on what you're feeling right now. And what you're feeling right now is an incredibly large amount of distress, an incredible large amount of dysphoria. You're feeling a lot of tension. You're feeling a tremendous amount of stress. And you're feeling a lot of other symptoms related to gender dysphoria. The never is not coming from a bag of possibilities. The never is coming off a bag of a limitation only holding you down now. But the bag of limitation changes. It is not constant. It is not set in stone. And you can change it. So I hear this a lot when people say, I can never transition because I'm going to be an ugly this or that. I'm going to be unpassable. Here's something to think. So, pardon my language. So for those of you who think you're going to be ugly, I'm going to be an ugly woman, let's say. It's a very common one. That's the only reason why I'm using it. Okay. so you're going to be an ugly woman, but you're sure going to be a much happier woman. You sure are going to be a much more healthier woman. Or would you rather to be an attractive or passable or taken seriously gender you were assigned at birth, and unhappy, unhealthy, and very miserable on the inside? Also, the word ugly is so relative and dependent on so many other things. So relative and dependent on so many other things. Okay? And it's very, very subjective, and it's very interchangeable, and it's not said in a particular way. One thing I do know, when people start feeling happier about themselves, they start seeing themselves differently. And what they thought of was ugly is suddenly going to be attractive. Okay, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not saying that suddenly whatever you think is ugly, you're going to think that it's gorgeous and needs to be flaunted. Hey, I have the same things about myself. There's things about myself that I don't think are attractive, and I'm a very positive person and healthy person. It doesn't make me suddenly flaunt those things, but I am much more compassionate toward myself and those parts of myself. I'm kinder. I say, hey, I don't think this is very attractive, but you know what? I have other things about myself that I do like. Other things about myself that make me feel good. And that's what you're going to have. And that's the benefit of it. So if you're watching this and you have said to yourself so many times, and you fall into this, this camp of individuals who said, I'm going to be ugly, I'm going to be this. Know this, that what you are seeing right now is everything you're not, and your mind tells you everything you are not going to be. It's not a fair assessment because, again, you're not seeing it. You're really not seeing it. You're not. It's not really a objective vision. You are only hearing what your mind is telling you. And your mind is hearing all of these negative things. So comment below, let me know if you were in a position where you told yourself, I am never going to be, or, and then fill in the blank, whatever it was for you. And what helped you to go from never to I will? And what helped you along the way? And what was the outcome? Did you realize that it wasn't as scary, as terrifying as you thought? Did you actually start to feel better? Did you actually start to feel more confident? Did you actually start to feel much more compassion and kindness towards yourself? Because I see that a lot. Sometimes people will tell me, you know what, yes, I did transition, and I gotta admit there's still parts about myself that I'm not so happy about, and I wish they were better, and I wish I had capacity or money or resources to fix them. But overall, I'm so much more happier now than I was before. And that's a huge, huge difference. So comment below, let me know. I love hearing from all of you and reading your comments, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.